All right. We are back again, another Friday, another podcast, 101. We're going to teach everybody something today, probably about Transformers or something. We'll see. Uh, the usual gang are here. We got Terrence. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing pretty good. It's Friday night for us. I don't know what day it is when you guys are listening, but hope you're having a great time. We're going to talk some Transformers and all the things that happened at D23. Can't wait for the show to get started.
Sounds good. Mike, how you feeling, sir?
Outstanding. Just, having a good day and just ready to get started.
Excellent. J-Pat doodling away.
Yeah, doodling, trying to keep myself occupied, keep the brain nice and fresh.
That's right. Keep the gears turning. And QP.
Hey, I'm sorry. I want to apologize to my co-host here. Everybody, I'm sorry. I had gremlins in my headphones, but I'm ready to go. Watched Transformers this week. Took my little notes. My kids are like, "You've seen this before?" Like, I've seen it thousands of times, and it's brand new every time. Right? So I'm ready.
Excellent. Okay, well, we will start off with the myriad of releases and trailers that Disney decided to vomit all over us a few days ago at D23. I actually just learned this today, but D23 actually stands for Disney's start in 1923, and it's a celebration of everything that they've accomplished from then until now. Usually, this is in particular is their fan event, so they're showing the world everything that they've been working on and what will be coming out between the next couple years at least. I think there's some things coming out in 2026, some things this year, some things next year. Let's see. The first one, they're doing Moana 2. It's been a while since I've seen Moana, but was that a 3D movie or was that an animated?
Yeah, that was 3D. That was with The Rock, right? Yeah,
that was 3D.
Pretty sure it was 3D,
but not live action, right?
The animation was really good, and they're going to ruin the legacy of that movie with a sequel.
Okay, yeah, they are. They are.
Okay, so we got a sequel to that, and then the live action one, like you said, is already in works. The live action one, with The Rock, and were they getting? I don't remember if they're getting the same person to play her. 2026 for that one. Moana 2 will be out in the end of November this year.
I would like to make a bet that he rock bottomed someone in this movie. Okay, I'm taking bets on that. A little dollar.
It might not be a human. It might be a sea creature.
I heard also that The Rock is pitching a Monster Jam.
The hell is that
movie? But in
the trucks.
Yeah, but it's like Cars though, where they give it's from the perspective and personality of the monster trucks.
Okay.
Yeah,
we had a Monster Jam thing here last weekend in Raleigh, like an hour away.
Monster Jam is so loud.
Yeah,
so loud.
My son goes every year they come. I quit going after the second year. You can have it. I'm not doing
it. Destroy my eardrums.
At our livestock event center down here too. Okay, the much maligned Snow White movie.
Yikes!
It's the movie that's going to try to convince everybody that Rachel Zegler is hotter than Gal Gadot.
Yeah, very few can make that claim.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the production reveals before of how the dwarves looked.
No, it looks terrible. It looks terrible.
But now they decided to replace all the people with just CG monstrosities. So it's barely even a live action movie. It's probably going to be the only live action movie.
Like, why not just use actual dwarves? I'm sure they would love to have a chance to be in a feature film.
Didn't they just use some in what's that thing that Willow? Weren't there? Yeah. Okay.
Didn't they scrub Willow from their servers? You can't see that Willow anywhere.
Existence.
It was trash. Trash.
I couldn't even get through the first half hour of that series.
I watched 3 episodes and I gave up.
Mm-hmm. That's
Now,
about
you did way better than me. I couldn't even get through the first episode.
I wanted to believe.
benefit of the doubt, yeah, because I love
Mulder.
Yeah. Old Fox, yeah.
Let's see. Live action Lilo and Stitch for 2025
Oh, God.
summer.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. The CG on Stitch looks really good though. What else we got? Incredibles 3 announced.
I'll watch that.
I did not like
See what they
those
do with
two.
Jack Jack.
Yeah.
No release date on that one yet, but I think it's the same writer.
Because that's from that studio under them. They use their stuff is usually okay.
Pixar? Yeah.
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 It's not technically Disney.
Right.
Contractor.
Like Buena Vista.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving, Toy Story 5.
What?
Because they won't let
Damn, another one?
that one stop. Yeah.
Let these toys live their lives. They're
Right.
done.
How many times did we pass down? These kids got to be 50 by now.
I think it's going to be the girl
Let
from
these toys
from
keep
number
making
4.
us money.
Yeah. But this time the toys are up against tablets and video games.
What the fuck?
So, summer
It sounded like
2026
video
on that
games
one.
weren't out when the original.
Exactly.
Man, Woody was like out in the wild with his girl and he was free. Like, let him be.
Nope, they're going to milk that horse until it's dead.
Jesus.
Let's see. Frozen 3,
Oh, God.
because of course. Zootopia 2.
That was
I don't
just
mind. I
leave
like
it be.
Zootopia.
Let it be. Instead of let it go, let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Stranger Things in space with Star Wars as Skeleton
Oh
Crew.
Lord.
It's basically the Goonies. It actually reminds me a lot of the Star Trek Prodigy, where a bunch of kids take over a ship and start going around the galaxy.
The only difference is that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't believe Disney made me not a fan of Star Wars.
That's coming out, I believe, at the end of the year.
Like, I actually hate Star Wars now. Well, I'll say Disney Star Wars. I hate it. Like George Lucas Star Wars, I still get with it. I still rocks with you, George.
Are you regretting that acolyte tattoo you got?
I know, right? The power of many, the power of one.
The power of money.
I got it on the small of my back.
All right, that one
Hopefully
will
the
be
hair
out
grows
on
over it.
December 3rd.
My hairy back grows over it.
Let's see. I think they re-showed Agatha All Along Again. That comes out on the 18th next month. They showed the same stuff they did for the Fantastic Four as they did in at Comic-Con.
Fantastic Four doesn't look terrible.
You think it's going to be terrible?
I said it doesn't
No,
look terrible.
Oh, it
looks
doesn't
pretty
look-
good.
okay.
Yeah. Ralph Ineson. Do we know who that is? He's the one who's going to be playing Galactus.
Ralph.
Scottish dude.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a cloud.
Well, they had a picture of him looking in through a window, and he actually had eyes. It wasn't a big fart cloud.
Okay. I wonder if he's going to take off his helmet and have that crazy widow's peak and that wild beard. He has
I thought he was bald. Well, actually, I thought Galactus looked the way, like if you're a human, he looks human. If you're a scroll, he looks like a giant scroll. But he's like this big. It's kind of hard. I've seen a picture of him, like the way he really looks, and it's like a blob or something, like this purple thing.
You know, sort of those frames where he takes off his helmet and he has that
the baldy.
like is it a
And
baldy or is he?
I saw
Or
him with a
maybe
baldy.
Okay.
He's got like black eyeliner on.
Yeah.
He's English.
Oh, okay. I'm sure if I saw a picture of him, I would know who that was.
I watched the interview with him. He was, I like him. Got a cool voice.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Yeah.
Okay. Daredevil Born Again. We got some more stuff on that. I think some people have posted the cast photo. We got basically everybody coming back except for what is his name?
What movie is this?
Oh, this
Daredevil.
is Daredevil Born Again. Yeah.
Okay.
I was it Mike Coulter? Is that who played Luke Cage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't I don't know if they've signed him on yet, but they're bringing back Punisher and Bullseye, along with White Tiger. Have we seen that character? Was that the one in season 2?
I don't know if I've seen that character on live action.
White Tiger from Wakanda?
See, I thought it was another White Tiger.
Or is it, no, that's the Puerto Rican chick, right?
Oh.
What is she with Mighty
not
Avengers?
Not the White Wolf. You're thinking
White Wolf, okay, yeah.
She was in Luke Cage Mighty Avengers when they were in that office. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't specify if anybody was.
Well, I don't know if she's Puerto Rican in live action, but I know she's like Puerto Rican in like the comics, right? Or she might not be Puerto Rican. She's like from Honduras or something. Like she's some Latino like nation.
Okay. I only saw it that one time and then never again.
Okay, Avatar 3. That's coming out December of next year. It's called Fire and Ash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I never got into any of those. They put me right to sleep, like immediately.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it.
I watched the first one, but the second one I'm having a hard time getting into. Like I can't get like the first 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I enjoy the visuals.
They're making a Freakier Friday, bringing up Lindsay Lohan and
Lindsay Lohan.
Do that with the not the Eternals, but the Marvels. Did they already do that?
Yeah, you're right.
Freaky Friday too.
Yeah.
This one's about their kids. So, yeah. Tron Ares, Tron 3 coming out. Pretty good premise, I think. I didn't watch the second one, but I think in this one they spill out into the real world. Yeah, and who is it? Jared Leto, right?
Pixels.
That's the main person. Yeah, exactly. Pixels all over again. I was interested that they didn't bring back Daft Punk, obviously because the band broke up, but they're bringing back 9 Inch Nails for this. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are going to be helming the soundtrack. So I think that'll work. They know how their electronic is. My dog needs to stop eating his bone on my chair. Monster Jam. I already mentioned that. We don't need to mention it ever again. They're doing a TV spin-off of Inside Out called Dreams. Or Dream Productions. Sorry. It's basically going to be, instead of the emotions of the girl, we're going to be into her dreams. I never watched any of the Inside Out movies, but...
There's like an overall theme with all these projects.
Which is, play it safe.
Which
dear
is,
God, play it safe.
I see a cow, and I see the cow being milked over
Just
and over. Yeah. Like, please let me die. Let me rest. Jeez. I did like both of the Inside Out movies. I did. And I guess if it's not straight from Disney, I'll give it a chance. Because that's Pixar also?
Yes.
Inside Out? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, Pixar.
Yeah, I saw both of them. You know, I got a little daughter, so I had to watch them.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, if you're wondering if they're actually going to bring out anything original, they do have the movie Hoppers coming out.
The hell is that?
Which is a young girl who transfers her consciousness into a robot beaver in order to learn about the world of animals.
Oh, stop!
Wow.
Isn't that Avatar? Isn't that just Avatar, but less sci-fi?
That sounds like the basis of the new Doctor Doom, switching bodies and whatever. There are already rumors about how that's going to happen, and I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. Buckle up.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the live action Lion King prequel. Everybody asks for Mufasa.
Oh, that looks so terrible. Now Mufasa's like a stray cat.
I've always wondered how Mufasa came to power in the Pride Lands Thank God my prayers have been answered. Jesus.
We're gonna humanize Scar, and you're gonna see exactly why he came to be so resentful. I'm like, dude,
We get it.
Just
that
let
motherfucker
Scar
just
be
be evil because he's evil.
Yeah.
Come on, he's got black fur. Obviously, he's evil. And a scar on his face.
Right.
And they're,
And
like,
Jeremy
they're not
Irons
even
was-
brothers anymore. He just and Mufasa's the one that was adopted. Like, what? What is this?
Yeah. Everything besides the original movie has not been any good. Ain't that
It
crazy?
hasn't. It hasn't. You think they had learned by now?
Yeah.
Nope.
Let's see. They got footage of Ironheart.
Oh God.
So what they showed was rebuilding a new suit because Wakanda took their suits back.
They still
And
doing
what do
that?
we know about the villain, the Hood?
The Hood. The last time I saw him, or he was in anything that crossed my path, he was during Dark Reign. He was Osborn's like street level thug. Like he was more in contact with the street level villains, and I think he had the Infinity Gauntlet at one point, or he had gems.
Does
I
he
think
have powers?
it's supposed to be magical based. I thought. I think.
Yeah. Well, he'll be played by Anthony Ramos. I don't know if you remember.
And he's in the Ironheart show.
Yeah.
Why? It's like they don't even match. Like
I don't know.
And Don Cheadle still can't get a show or movie.
Yeah, there's absolutely no mention of Armor Wars during D23 or Comic
He's-
Con this year.
And yeah,
Still-
you're right. Like the Hood versus Ironheart, they don't match up
That-
at all.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh.
Isn't he like a mystical gun wielder?
yes,
Right,
yes.
yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with Ironheart? Why?
Nothing.
I'd rather than bring somebody back like Living Laser or something. At least
That
make it
would
an Iron Man villain.
Maybe Riri created a magic detector without having any magic.
Mm.
Let's see. We got Andor season 2. I mean, season 1 was pretty good. We'll see what goes on there. I think it's
We'll see.
I still have to finish like the last half hour of the last episode. That came out like what 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you still got to wait another year before that comes out at least. So let's see. Mandalorian and Grogu on the big screen. Looks like 2026 for that one. I don't know.
Do we still care about that?
Not particularly.
Well, Grogu apparently has to be the star now because
It's been a while since we had a Mando series, right?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, that
2
last
years.
season was kind of shitty. So
What happened the last season?
I don't remember. Is that the
Oh,
one where
wait.
he was riding the Rancor in the middle of the town?
yeah.
No, that was Boba Fett,
that was
wasn't
the
it?
end of Boba Fett.
Oh, that was Boba Fett. Yeah.
But
That-
didn't Mando close
This when they took the planet back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh
they took
yeah,
back
that's right. They
Mandalorian
took the planet back. Yeah.
with Boba
He
Fett.
was like Jon Snow. He was for the queen or whoever that woman was.
Yeah,
And
second
Grogu
fiddle
did
to
the
all
little
the
force
other
bubble
Mandalorians,
protecting
yeah.
them from the explosion.
Yeah.
Well, all their kids get eaten by giant flying animals and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Can I
And
be a
then,
Mandalorian again? Well, I told you in the other show. No, you got to go purify yourself in the water to let him in the talk.
Damn it. And then there's going to be a season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I didn't even know there was a
Yeah.
season 1. But that's
Yeah.
23 for you. Whole shitload of sequels.
Oh, Disney, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens
I
when you
don't-
don't pay writers.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything comes from there. I don't have any questions. Like I felt like
What do you watch that? Is that on Disney Plus? So how do you watch that?
Oh, I have no idea how to watch it. I think it's a live event.
I think it
don't
was on Disney Plus,
Was
Okay.
it? Okay.
but I turned my subscription off, so fuck them.
I don't watch it, but I got to keep it for my daughter and Moon Girl, so she still uses it.
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny.
Just Just make sure you don't hurt yourself at their parks, because obviously you can't sue them if you die there.
Oh, really?
Not if you sign up for Disney Plus. Apparently, that's
Sign up for Disney Plus is your waiver.
That's signing away all your rights.
Yep.
I wish I could get rid of Disney Plus. The one I'm waiting to cancel is Netflix. Like as soon as You is done, as soon as Cobra Kai is done, I think I'm done. And that's the only reason I'm hanging on to it.
I want You and Stranger Things. And I'm going to hold out because there's a lot of shakeup going on with Paramount right now. They're shutting down their whole TV production. There's a possibility that Star Trek could go to Netflix. So the Prodigy has already jumped ship. There's been in talks that they might, like very slim chance, it probably won't happen, but Lower Decks might be picked up by them as well, the animated show. But with all the turmoil with Paramount right now, there's a strong possibility it might go to Netflix.
All right. All right.
Sounds
so thank you. Yeah. So thank you for that, Rob. We all think I speak for all of us when we can't wait for Disney to.
Don't thank me. Thank Bob Iger and his creative brain.
All right. So we're going to talk about what we're all excited to talk about: Transformers the movie, the '86 edition. So we all watched this week. I was taking notes, little book report, stuff I didn't want to forget to mention. And before we get started, we all watched, right? Okay. All right. So what I was going to do, I took notes. We're going to do scene for scene. I really wish I could watch it. We could all just watch it live. That would be
we got to figure out how to do a watch party or something.
Yeah. I think the best way would be on Prime, because I was actually looking at that, and if Prime isn't as stringent as Netflix, you can have a bunch of people on it, and they're not gonna be like, no, you're not in the same house, or you're sharing a passcode. They don't care. So we're just gonna take it scene by scene. We're gonna talk about it, and see how this turns out. If it goes good, then we'll do another movie. All right, so. This movie came out '86. This is how old were you guys? I was 6.
I was 10. I was 10.
4.
11.
11. Oh, Mike, the elder statesman. Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Mike.
he would have been taking us to the movie theater back then. Like Mike, bring those kids back.
Yeah.
Spend all his money, y'all. All right, so the first thing we see in this movie is Unicron, coming between the blue and red the stars,
corona of the stars, yeah.
Right, and this is the first time we're seeing this, as a kid. I don't remember seeing Unicron in the previews, so I don't know if this is I can't confirm or deny.
I don't remember the previews at all.
I remember Prime falling in the previews, but I don't remember Unicron at all. And then you have the music. I think everybody here had I must listen to the Unicron melody once a week. It's that soundtrack is just it's still has some bangers on there,
Oh yeah, you got the touch.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite songs.
But all right, I'm gonna save this for the end because it's a whole bunch of songs on there, and it really comes down to about top 3 for me. All right, so Unicron shows up, and then there's a planet of robots. It's not Cybertron. Go ahead.
This is what. Now watching it as an adult and looking at it, I was like, how did Unicron just roll up on him like that? He's a big ass. They didn't have time. Unicron is coming. Let's get out of here. He was eating the planet before they realized he was there.
He ain't waste no time.
They have no sensors or nothing.
See, asteroids coming.
Mike, right? Jay, Unicron caught them mixing juices and alcohol in the lab. They weren't even thinking about it.
They weren't thinking about nothing. I'm saying, like, he's big. He's big enough you could see him with your naked eye coming from like a long distance.
Like, first of all, can you imagine? Like, you sitting there mixing juices, and then you look out the window and you see this thing, and then you know what it is. Like, they called him by his name. Like, oh shit!
Right.
Like, it's Unicron. Yeah. So Unicron just shows up, and he just starts devouring. Like,
he's way iller than Galactus.
Yeah, not Galactus draining the planet's energy, but he's like crunching up the rock and like he's peeling, like everything is just going down. He's eating it. The guys try to escape, but he sucks them in. Yeah, he sucks them in, and we see his digestive system. He's chomping everybody up, and then we got the.
He lights up and goes on his way.
Yeah, and just keeps going. Now, first impressions, like when you guys watch this again, if you can remember we're not going to remember when we were kids, but like just impressions on this scene. Like, let's talk about Unicron for a little bit and destroying whatever that planet was. I think they said the name later in the movie, but I don't remember.
Lithone.
What's it called?
Lithone.
There you go. I knew Terrence knew. All right, what's on our minds after this first scene and Unicron and the music?
The whole movie amazes me because it's like there was no computers back then. They had to hand draw all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was all hand drawn animation, all that technical stuff, all those little moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy when you think about it. He's definitely a menacing villain, though. Unicron is no joke.
He is, and that's like a character. It seems like over the years has been like flushed out more because that was his first appearance. If
Yes.
I'm not okay, Chance, you got a smile on your face. What's on your mind?
I'm just listening.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
okay.
But first impression was just that this is this ain't the TV show. This is badass. This is
right.
This is epic. I'm about to watch some shit go down.
Mike, you got anything yet?
About that one scene?
Yeah.
Not so much. I was kind of like, whoa, what is that? I would imagine. My first time, like, it was our first time seeing Unicron, so I was like, what's going on? I would imagine I was trying to figure out what's going on. Like, how did this tie into my Transformers? But I was just ready. I would imagine. Like I say, I've seen it 200 or 300 times now, so I don't know.
Right.
It's hard to imagine how 11-year-old Mike.
Right. I know it's going to be hard. We don't remember earlier. I don't remember Monday. Like, I know I went to work.
Yeah.
Jay and Robert, you got anything, or are we ready to move on to the next scene?
We can.
I can just say something real quick.
Sure.
I'm probably the one coming in with the least amount of nostalgia because I've never seen this before.
What? But before this week?
Yeah, no, I've never seen it before.
You never watched it?
What?
I've never gotten around to watching it. Transformers wasn't something I grew up on. I just knew that they existed. I liked some of them from the toys, but my household, we never had I guess either cable or I never knew where to watch it, so I never grew up with it.
Well, this is going to be fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you think you know somebody, and then they turn around one day and just say, "I've never seen that
Shock
movie
you.
before." Okay, all right,
Yeah,
that's
First
cool.
impressions, I really did enjoy the animation. It was very good.
The animation was nice.
Yeah, it was really
Yep.
good. The Unicron scene was good. I had to text you because I couldn't find the streaming anywhere, and it wasn't on Amazon. So I watched it on YouTube, and I thought that the Foley work, all the sound effects, were hot garbage. Like this
Yeah, it
was
was
a
like
kindergartner
chomp, chomp,
class
chomp.
making the sound effects for this. And I was wondering if it was like a bad upload or something. But no, it wasn't like that. But yeah, I would say besides the Foley work and the music, I think everything else in the movie is pretty good. I didn't like the music either.
Okay,
But that's me. I don't like 80s butt rock anyway.
Oh man. Okay, that's cool. That's all right.
When Dare to Be Stupid came on, I'm like, why is this playing right now? When the Mongolian robots are fighting with the other guys.
Okay, all right. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. Yeah, like Rob was about to. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. So next scene, what do we? Moonbase and Cybertron. So like the narrator comes out and says it, like Decepticons took Cybertron back. Are any of us surprised by that? Like, no. The if you ask me, like the team, the villains of the '80s, it's the Decepticons. Like they were like throughout the show, they were always like it seemed that they were a step ahead of them as far as like gathering energy. Like they had their ship first, and somehow it crashed, and they never, even though they went back and forth to Cybertron at one point in season 2, I think they just stayed on Earth anyway. And they, the Autobots are in the moon bases. They're trying to, making plans to take back Cybertron, but they don't have enough energy on. We see Optimus for the first time. Got a couple of the old heads up there. Ironhide. They're in communication with Jazz and Cliffjumper. I think it was just Jazz on the screen on Moonbase 2. And, they want to make a move, but they need more energon, so they're headed to Earth, right? And, of course, like the show, they've never had a counter for Laserbeak. Laserbeak is watching. Laserbeak is always watching.
Always watching.
Always watching. They never look out for this thing. I don't know if they ever realized he was ever watching them, but he was watching. And, he goes back, Decepticon base, and, as soon as you get Megatron and Starscream in the same room, it's just like the show. He takes a dig at Starscream immediately. Tells him that, tells Laserbeak, like most of his other, unlike most of his other guys, like he never fails him, and he's looking right at Starscream. And,
Starscream has the dumbest look on his face at that scene.
Because he knew he was talking about him. God damn, dude. Like, I ain't do nothing yet. Go ahead, buddy. What was you going to say?
No, that was it. He just sitting there smiling, Megatron missing the shit out of him. Come on, man. For Rob, I don't know. Like you say, you didn't watch the show, but Starscream and Megatron, like they're like an old married couple, honestly, and they're always bickering, and like Starscream is openly defiant all the time to the point where it's like, why does Megatron have this guy still around? Like he's firing on Megatron in the show, like he's tried to overthrow him like multiple times. It's like, why keep him around? I wouldn't say I wouldn't say a married couple. I'll say your old brothers, 2 older brothers. Okay. And no matter how old, you still my little brother. That's how Megatron treated his ass. You still the little brother. I'm gonna whoop your ass because you little brother. And that's how I would look at him.
There was a line.
Now, how old you get, you still my little brother. So
Starscream crossed that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, habitual line stepper.
Is that the line that's crossed a little bit later in the movie?
Yeah, like in the show, it was every opportunity like he had. Like, yeah, I told you that shit wasn't gonna work. I would be a better leader. Like, I'm standing right here, dude. Like, I'm just gonna end up smacking you. Like, why are we always doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But they find out about Prime's plans, and they guess what? They're going to hijack the ship. And we mentioned a couple minutes ago how, like, Unicron signified, things being a little different than the TV show. The battle, or we can call it a battle, on that shuttle clearly let everyone know this was going to be a little different.
Oh man, there were bodies dropping. I was very surprised by that. I'm like, wait, this is a kids movie? These are
right.
And that's how everybody felt. We were in the movie theater, like,
right? Like, this is just going to be, they get shot, and like Ratchet or somebody else will just like patch you up, and you'll be back out there. But I can't
wait. Like, wait, he got bubbles coming out his mouth. Like, what's
yeah,
going on?
smoke and like the light leaving people's eyes, and we get the music again, Instruments of Destruction, which was like, it was like I do like that song because it seemed like the Decepticons were merciless, and like they took them all out. Like it was ugly. And poor Ironhide, I don't even know if they had anything to bury for Ironhide. Like he was the tough guy during the first 2 seasons, and he got put down like a dog. Like that cannon hurts from a distance, and you standing right under. And like that thing you have to expect to see like it exit the bottom of the shuttle when it's flying away. Like it was just bad.
Can we give a shout out to all the dopest one-liners?
What's that?
This movie had such heroic nonsense.
Yeah, it did have a lot of.
The movie was full of them. Like
it was.
Space, so don't go past that. He got to acknowledge that he got shot in the face. And again, like Ross, this is a kids' movie. He shot his ass in the goddamn face. Who does that? Come on, they were not.
It was the shot, and then like the animation. It was just smoke. It wasn't like pew and pow, and then he's down. It was just like he's not there anymore. Like his upper, like he's gone.
Gone.
There's nothing to repair. You're sweeping him up, or even mopping him up at this point. All right, thoughts of this scene. Like I know we can't remember back then, but this scene still hits hard. Because they got taken out hard. Like, they got hit.
Yeah.
And we're talking about them not seeing Unicron. I don't know what kind of radar on these ships. That like they flew up on the thing and ripped the damn doors off.
Mm-hmm.
It was quick and brutal. That's all I can really say about that scene. It was just brutal.
And they took out a lot of favorites there. I can't even think. What's the
was it smoke screen or prow?
It was the cop one.
Yeah, the cop was prow.
Prow.
Okay, prow. And what was the little one with the Braun?
Braun.
Yeah, they had all the tough guys on that ship too, and they got destroyed. Like all the first 2 season tough guys were gone.
That's why the Decepticons took Cybertron.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's the end of that scene. We got Instruments of Destruction. The Decepticons wiping out the passengers, and they're on their way to Earth. What are you gonna say, Mike?
I got something in general about Transformers in general, and it happened in that scene. These damn robots are always struggling with energy. They need to be working on that first. It's like, before they fighting for this, y'all need to figure out a better energy consumption, a better way to get energy. It's like they always hungry. They always fighting for energy cubes, or just something. That need to be their priority.
Yeah. And that was the Decepticons. Like again, they were always just better at getting it. The Decepticons, the Autobots. I don't know if they were trying to be honorable. They were waiting for somebody to offer them Energon. Right. Like, you guys hungry? Like, we had some Energon. Like, I never saw them like go to like humans. Like, yo, can we? Like, we just saved the city. Like, can we get some?
Right? Can we take some Energon real quick?
Right. We hungry. Like they never did that. I've never seen an Autobot make an Energon cube on his own.
That's true. They was always stealing the Decepticons' Energon.
Yeah, it was like they were. I don't understand. To Mike's point, but later in the movie, we'll see that Hot Rod and Cup have sticks of Energon gum.
They had Energon gum.
Yeah, so even that's a little bit. The Decepticons have big ass cubes, and y'all come out with the little doublements.
Yeah,
it's like I'm a whole damn truck, and you giving me this little piece of Energon.
Like, y'all deserve to lose Cybertron. Come up a little
bit. They couldn't match the Decepticons' like determination at any point. Yeah. All right, so then we're on Earth, and we get to see new Autobot Hot Rod with, as we find out. Now we're going to get to that because Hot Rod had a bunch of MVP moments in this movie, but after after the movie, he was depressed and he was always like, oh, I don't know if I could be the leader. I wish you were here. Optimus Prime, he was all sad and everything. But during the movie, they did a good job making him like the guy, like, oh man, this guy's fucking cool. His car mode was like, it was cool. So he's hanging out with Daniel, and and the shuttles come in, one of the Decepticons on, and we get Dare. First time we hear Dare, and it was a good scene, him racing to Lookout Mountain, and again, good animation. The music married really good with the scenes. Then we see Cup.
Speaking about sensors, how is Daniel the one to see the Decepticons in the ship and not the robot?
Hold on. He saw them coming in. We're gonna get to that scene because it's always funny to me. They get to the top, right? And like Jay said, like, you're right, Daniel did see them in that the goggle things at the top of the mountain. But the funny thing is, it's just Starscream just sitting. He's just standing in the hole, like he's just like standing there, and not only just standing there oblivious, he gets shot like from it. Like he shoots once, and then he gets hit the second time and falls back. And I'm like, why is he just standing there? They're trying. Bad enough you're flying in the ship with a hole, but you're one of the more well-known Decepticons. You're just standing there. And Hot Rod, with one of his MVP moments, shoots down the shuttle. Decepticons are out, and they're on the attack. We get Cup coming in with some cool maneuvers against, what's the triple changer tank's name?
Blitzwing.
Astro Train?
Blitzwing.
Oh, you say tank, Blitzwing, yeah.
Yeah. She comes in, saves Hot Rod and the kids, swings on the tank turret, and, they cause the collision of the Autobots. And, more good animation, like Cup's cool and Hot Rod's cool, and they ride off to the city. Any comments on the introduction of Hot Rod? Looking at this again, like any memories that come up when watching this particular scene or scenes?
Nothing major with Hot Rod. I mean, nothing really. It was more about Daniel for me. Like, Spike got a kid. Wow. I guess what's his dad? What was Spike's dad name? Sparkplug or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess he was dead. That was my main thing. Where was he at? But it wasn't anything particular about Hot Rod. It was just a new bot.
I mean, he looked cool. It was like, okay.
Yeah, he looked good, but it wasn't like, I was concerned. I was like, all right, it's a new bot. But where's my man? Where's Spike Dad? That's who I was looking for.
Okay.
This scene kind of highlighted something that kind of basically goes through the entire movie, is how snappy everything is. It's one scene to the next, and it's like action almost all the way through. There's very little downtime through this whole movie, which I definitely noticed. They're fishing for like 30 seconds, and then boom, it's wrenching in their car and then racing along.
Right.
And I guess that's one thing I'm kind of missing out on it. Not watching the series before that is they're just throwing these characters at you, and if you never watched it, you have no idea who these people are.
Right. So Hot Rod,
say that, yeah.
Right. Hot Rod, Cup, RC, Springer, Ultra Magnus and Blur were all new.
Okay.
And they threw them at us. And I got to make sure. I keep you mentioned it. Got to remember this is your first time watching it. All right, so they ride off to the city. The Decepticons are, on the way to the city. Their cover's blown, and we do meet Ultra Magnus, Blur, Springer, the character was just mentioned, and they're like, we got to get to the city in battle mode. First impressions of the new bots are still nothing yet. You've seen these movies before. What are some impressions? Like, the only one I have a last impression on is Ultra Magnus and him being a bad leader and a coward. But he was just very selfish, a coward, and he was just a bad leader. The signs were very early, in his leadership.
That's why he didn't get the Matrix.
Yeah, we're going to get to that point because every time I see it, yeah. Any impressions with the new Transformer, the new Autobots?
I thought when we were kids, I thought they were all cool.
Yeah.
You see RC, you're like, oh shoot, they got a
That's right, a chick, right,
what?
right.
I'm still looking for Springer, the toy. I mean, I thought that Triple Changer. I thought he was cool. Him, I thought. I mean, Ultra Magnus, this is his name. Yeah, he was cool. Who else is in that scene? I'm trying to think.
Perceptor, who was one of the OGs. Blur.
Blur's kind of, but Ultra, he was all right. His toy is terrible. Oh my god! I'm Blur's toy. I don't know where they got that mold from, but they need to go back. Oh,
he was like some hovercraft car, right? Something like
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, his toy mold is terrible. I wonder if Andre has it. Well, he is terrible.
Probably.
I'm sure I'm not the only one to notice, but I thought Ultra Magnus looked a little too similar to Optimus, like the color scheme and the way he was designed.
So here's the thing: the toy mode, it was Optimus Prime,
was Optimus, yeah.
But he was white, and like there was like an attachable head to put over the Optimus Prime head to make him look different. Oh. And I remember being a kid, they were like, "Oh, they're brothers," and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, they look the same, so they had to be brothers," but
right,
they weren't. They were. It was like just built on. There's a reason for that.
And then later on,
they did it as a misdirection.
Later on, I think in the Dreamwave comics, he literally was like another model of Optimus. Like the way Ultra Magnus looks was just an armor over top of another Optimus body.
Yes.
So he literally was a copy of Optimus.
I think I've got that comic.
So that's a good eye there, Rob. So at this point, they're still scrambling. Starscream doing Starscream things, gets his foot caught. And I mention this because it's always funny to me. Has to shoot his foot out of the lock. Hot Rod and Cup get back into the city. Like they ran over one of the Insecticons' heads and get into a big moment. The Decepticons are running through the city, and we get the Blaster and Perceptor who are trying to send a distress signal. To Prime. Yeah. So Megatron gives out the order. Shockwave shut it down, and he says he empties out the whole deck. Everybody's in there, and
the sets go popping out. Yep.
Right, and Perceptor, out of all people, he's the one. He's going to wait for these guys to fall and throw a punch. I've never seen him throw a punch or even land a shot. Right, like get out of here, man. And then he tells Blaster to leave. And then one of the big moments, Blaster finally has some tapes. Right. And he's got a whole deck too. He's got two little guys. What was it?
He had like a little cat. It was like a cat, like a panther, like a little panther.
Yeah, another one was a Ryan. I don't know what
did he have a rhino?
Yeah, I think he had a rhino.
Okay.
And then he had two humanoids.
Yep. Yeah, he said, "No way, two can play." He's rhyming and he's kicking and empties out the deck, which was it's still cool. Because 2 seasons of Blaster, he's an audio, device like Shockwave and Soundwave, excuse me, and no tapes. It was just weird. And they gave him tapes in the movie, which was nice, and I think that was the last time we saw them. I don't remember them in the 3rd season, so they must have died. So we got the tapes.
I got to speak on Perceptor for a minute because I was the first time I ever thought about it. But how did Perceptor get a leading role in this movie? The microscope. Yeah. You trying to you killed off all these other characters so you could bring in more characters and sell new toys, but you kept the microscope. The giant microscope, and it's not and I can see you killed off Wheeljack, who was like the genius character you had before, who was always making shit in the lab, so you could keep the other genius character. But it's not like he did anything in particular in this movie that you needed a genius for. There wasn't one thing that he did in this movie where you needed him, where you needed some genius. no one ever came up with anything where it was like, oh my God, thank God we have Perceptor here. We never would have figured this out. Like, everything just kind of happened randomly. There was never a moment where it's like, if we didn't have Perceptor, we would have never figured this out. But we had to have the damn microscope here.
You're so mad. You're 100% right.
Christmas one day.
I had Perceptor too.
She was like, "Oh, it's just science. You can do your schoolwork."
They must have.
With a microscope.
There must have been some mandate where it was like, we got to keep one educational toy.
We got to keep
something that gives off the impression that we're into education. We got to have something in there.
They didn't even force anything in there. Like, we need to study this microscopic thing to stop Unicron. He didn't even fucking transform the whole movie. He didn't transform. He was running, and we're gonna get to that. He's a fast runner, apparently, because we'll get to that. So
was he the one that was like the speedster?
No, Perceptor was he was red,
bright
blue?
red.
And it looked like a little shorter cannon.
Yeah. He was up in the radio tower with Blaster.
I got you.
Yeah, and it does look like a blaster, but that's just his little scope to study things like butterfly wings and the contents of dust. It's who would you have rather gotten that spot instead of Perceptor, Terrence? Like from the early seasons.
If there was a mandate that we gotta keep one of the smart guys around, what kept Wheeljack?
Yeah,
because he had a cool car move. He could fight, and I'm not gonna keep the giant microscope.
Now, okay. I don't know who I would have put in there. I was about to say Trax, but you already got Hot Rod. They would have been too similar. I had to think about that one. And to Mike's point, we get another one-liner from Rumble. First we crack the shell, then the nuts inside.
Yeah.
So they were out for blood. Like they this was the end of the days for Autobots as far as they were concerned.
Yeah, the Decepticons were not playing.
Yeah, they weren't playing. The Decepticons was coming to Rumble.
Yeah. All right. So next scene, that scene ends with the cassettes going at it, but the battle's continuing. And let me see here. Yeah, the Decepticons, they're running through the city. They're not being stopped, and then they're at the gates or the inner part of the city, and they're all meeting up, and the Constructicons are there. Hot Rod and Cup, they meet up with Springer and RC. You see the bodies. We mentioned Wheeljack. Wheeljack is dead. I cannot remember the name of the other robot that was next to him. I think he was a truck.
Wind Charger.
Okay. And he's dead too. So we don't see these people dead, how they're killed, but they're dead. And they're trying to get a launcher into place. And they look out the window, and you can hear it in Cup's voice when he says his name, like Devastator. It's like the Devastator, like shit. And like, watching the cartoon, like if Omega Supreme wasn't in the episode, they were in trouble. All right. Whenever he showed up. Devastator merges, and they take a couple shots at him with their launcher. It don't do nothing. And I always liked that part. Like, it was a little respect there for Devastator, like what he was to the Autobots. It's like he was a problem. Like,
he was a problem. Even when the sound he made when he transformed, it was it's deep and slower. It was like, you're gonna feel this transformation.
It was dread for sure.
Yeah.
And they had no answer. So they were fighting all night, it looked like. And when a Devastator breaks through. At that time, another shuttle's coming in, and it's Prime. Prime, he's not there to negotiate or like act nice. He tells the Dinobots, destroy Devastator.
Right? I think that was like, he said destroy.
He's like, God damn, I can't turn my back on Megatron for like a couple of hours. City's going down, like destroying. Now, I don't remember the Dinobots ever fighting Devastator during the show. And I remember, like, even now, like, I still think the Dinobots are going to pull it out because I like the Dinobots. One of my favorite Autobot factions.
Yeah, I was a big fan of those too.
And yeah, and Devastator's the only one in the movie who actually noticed things coming in. You know, he sees them coming, and Bruce Lee kicks the shit out of Grimlock out of the screen. Like, he breaks what was that, Sludge?
Yeah, he makes his eye pop out all cartoony. Hits him in the back.
He gave him the Looney Tunes there, and then throws him. What was Slag, the Triceratops?
That's Swoop.
He finally hits him in the foot.
Yeah, he finally hits him, and then Swoop, I don't know what he was doing. Like, he's flying all close, Devastator backs up, and the wreckage falls on him, and he's there for the remainder of the fight. So we got Prime on the ground now. He's watching Megatron, and he's like, "This has got to end." Like, Megatron,
right?
He must be stopped.
Like, get the slow-mo transformation with the jet boosts and all. Yeah.
Now, before we get to this, who did he have with him? Hound and Sunstreaker?
Sunstreaker.
Mm-hmm. What were y'all doing? Y'all like, we gonna watch the shuttle, Prime. Like, we gonna watch the shuttle. Like, never mind. It's like the city's crawling with him, but Prime, he hit the slow motion transfer, and then we got a new song, "The Touch," and Prime proceeds on like one of the most righteous ass whippings. Like, he goes through the whole team. Like, Prime has had his moments. This is probably his moment. I get hype every time I see this.
Yes.
He spun the corner. He ain't hit the brakes. Like, he spun the corner.
Right.
He's running people down. He's just missing people. Like, they're getting out of his way. And he jumps in the air, launches himself in the air, knocks down everybody. He's not missing. Like, he's two-tapping people. Everybody's down. Everybody's down. It's quiet. So, like, he goes after Megatron, of course. And this is what always, like he wanted to, like, really get his hands on, because Prime was armed. He had his gun. He wasn't missing. He put it down and went to go look for, like, then we get another line. One shall stand, one shall fall.
One shall fall.
And, like, again, like, we saw the other Autobots die. We've seen people just getting taken out. I don't think, coming up to this, like, this is going to be how it is in the cartoon. They're going to fight, and somebody's going to fly off, and we're going to have the rest of the movie. Megatron says he's going to crush him with his bare hands, but picks up everything in the yard. He shoots him, throwing rocks, found a lightsaber, and he picked up, and they're going at it. This is like one of the, can you use the term choreographed or battle planned or whatever. The cinematography for this was very good. Like, music's going, close fight, and then, like, Prime just throws him like some trash, and he's down. He's down, and he walks over to the gun because he's going to put him down like a dog. Like, this is it, right? And we get to the infamous moment. Like, Prime's got him. He's talking. He shouldn't be talking to Megatron. And as their fight commenced, Hot Rod, for some reason, decided he needed the help. Prime don't need your help.
Right. No.
Like, he don't need your help, sir.
There's a lot more experienced bots that he could have chose from over Hot Rod.
Yeah. And
Cup
like,
told him. Cup was like, "That's Prime's fight."
Right. Like, everybody knows. Like, just wait. Just wait. Like, this is what they do, right? Like, let them go, and we'll pick up the pieces. Whatever happens, we're gonna pick up the pieces.
Because we ain't got nothing for this fight.
Right. We just stay back, man. Just stay back. So Hot Rod decides to interject, and he gets taken hostage. And Megatron proceeds to blast Optimus in the next week. And then he throws Hot Rod away like trash, and he never got back into the fight. I think he realized then that he wasn't supposed to be in the fight, but it's too late.
Right.
Prime is down, and before Prime succumbs to his wounds, he knocks Megatron in the chest and knocks him off of, let's just say, a cliff or the city ledge or whatever. Megatron's down. They beat the shit out of each other. So I don't know how hard Prime was hitting him because he never shot him, but like he was near death just by Prime putting the hand on him. Right.
He hit him with the two-fisted axe hammer.
Right.
It had to be a high drop.
The Kirk special.
How Megatron didn't see the wind up for that plug fist or whatever he did, because he came all the way back and then
that was like 3 minutes
swung.
Telegraphed.
Yeah. It reminded me of Biff from Back to the Future. Like you don't go ahead.
That bus drive, the bus driver video when he knocked out that lady on the bus.
Was that Sharky?
Going to jail now?
He came all the way back with it.
I need to look that video up. I haven't seen that video in years.
Yeah, it just popped in my head. That's a good comp. And we mentioned Starscream taking his moment, and he did, like immediately. He asked him, like he knew he was fucked up. Like how do you feel? Like I'm dying, dude. And he kicks him and he leaves him. like the ultimate opportunist, like Soundwave. How am I getting his name? Soundwave, right? Picks him up.
Starscream.
So, picks him up. Rumble's got the cannon, and they're out. Like it's like Astro Train. Like get us out of here. So Prime did what the Autobots expected him to do. He turned the tide, got the Decepticons out of there. The Decepticons are gone, and then we come back to Hot Rod, apologizing to Prime. It's too late, man. It's too late.
No kid's gonna want your toy now.
Right, and now all
like
that being
an action
said,
figure of Judas.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that because, like most people, like I don't really care. I don't like Hot Rod anymore. But in this movie, like I loved him. Like, and every time you watch the movie, like he made so many plays. If this was like a sporting event, he made a lot of plays during this movie. So we get to the Decepticons are gone, and then we got back to Autobot base, and Prime is on the stretcher, and he's dying. He's got a big-ass hole. You know what? He did transform, Terrence, because he couldn't see the big-ass hole. He had to turn into a microscope and look at
right.
and look at the hole. Like, I think he's been shot. Like, no shit, man. So he's dying. Like, they got I didn't see any welding torches, no nothing. They're like, he's dying. We can't do nothing. And this was like the scene still gets me because Prime's death, we mentioned a couple events from our youth that that hurt us. We talk about this, Creed dying, Apollo Creed dying, and there are numerous other ones, but it's the one that had kids crying in the theater. I remember crying on this shit. It's like, what is happening? And then we see the Matrix for the first time. Matrix has never made an appearance in the show. No one's ever talked about it. But what's the term you use, Rob? The MacGuffin. The Matrix is here, and he picks Ultra Magnus because everybody else he would have gave it to is dead. And he first of all, like he didn't. Hot Rod touches it first, and we see like some kind of connection or whatever. And then he passes it to Ultra Magnus, and his dumbass doesn't even put it in his chest right the first time. He puts it in, they just got to take it out and put it back in. Like, it's not a good start. It's just not a good start for Ultra Magnus. We watch Prime die, and he turns all gray, and we got tears, and we got another Autobot. The Autobot down. And we get a scene to Unicron. We talk about Laserbeak. Unicron saw everything in this movie, and I guess it's the first time he's seeing the Matrix, and he's like, you know what, that can hurt me, and he's not happy, and we don't know why he's growling, right? So Prime is dead at this point, and then we go back to the Decepticons who are flying home. Now, Astro Train started all this shit, First thing he says, yeah, y'all gotta. It's heavy. Y'all gotta dump some weight.
I ain't gonna make it back to
Oh, right. Like in so many words, like he ain't got supplies, he ain't got cargo, he got Decepticons riding. Like y'all, some of y'all gotta get out. so Starscream takes another opportunity. It's like we got to get rid of some people, and they get into a fight, and the Decepticons are pirates. Like everybody was like, I'm gonna vying for the crown or whatever, and they decided to. Well, actually, I'm sorry. They decided to get rid of the people who were hurt, right? So they kick everybody else out. Starscream, who was by the door, he went to go get Megatron, right? He's like, I'm getting him, and I'm going to throw him out. And Megatron's like, no, I'm cool. Starscream, no, you're not. He's gone. And then they fight all the way back to Cybertron, still trying to figure out who's going to be the leader. So we come to the point where Unicron and Megatron meet, which is one of my favorite parts in the movie. We talk about one-liners. Unicron had, first of all, he had top-notch vocabulary.
Orson
Welles. And
his voice was amazing.
Yeah, you were right. And they meet, and he tells me, Megatron, I need you to destroy the Matrix, and Megatron still being stubborn. He's not used to taking orders, and he says he eventually agrees to do it. But Megatron's still asking for more, and we get one of my favorite Unicron lines. Your bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Highly dubious.
Highly dubious. He's like, but what, he has a bunch of good lines, and even when Megatron is he's having problems with him before, they agree. He says, perhaps I misjudged you. I don't even know if I really made a mistake, but maybe I did. And he transformed Megatron. Megatron escapes death, and
proceed on your way to oblivion.
You're right.
What?
Right? Yeah.
How do you say go F yourself like that? That's dope.
Yeah, you are right. And this is like you almost feel cheated. We got Prime dead, but you figure Megatron is going to be on his way out too, but he lives and has upgraded, gets new ship and new soldiers, and
new voice.
Yeah, he sounds like Spock now. Right. And yeah. And it's the movie's getting like Galactus. I said Galactus. Unicron and I mentioned that because the point I'm gonna get to. Unicron and Galvatron, they almost had the Galactus and that Herald, that kind of connection there. And it's a fair comparison, and he wants him to destroy the Matrix, and he's off. We got any thoughts so far? What you guys seen, or anything you want to point out?
I want to back up just a tiny bit. So they're back on Astro Train. I want to point out how easy the cassettes took out Devastator. They didn't even let him film.
Right.
They didn't even give him a chance to become. They did we've been studying your ass. So, want to bet? Boom, 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 boom. It wasn't even all the cassettes. It was just two Rebel and Frenzy. Just took his ass out. Nothing.
I'm glad you went back because one of the Constructicons had a line too, and he told Soundwave no one would follow an uncharismatic bore.
Yes.
Like Shakespeare in the who is that? And Soundwave didn't say nothing. He just emptied the deck. Y'all take care of this. Anybody else? You got anything?
I had to laugh. I think I was drinking something at the time when Starscream just throws Megatron out of the ship.
Right. Yeah,
that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
screw this dude.
That's their relationship. That was their relationship.
I was like, now I see why everybody is always picking on Starscream, because he's such a dickhead.
Yes, I think that the last line to him was, "I still function." He went, "Want to bet?
Want to
bet?" So good.
Hey, nah, you're not. Okay, so first thing, Megatron. Galvatron. His mission was destroy the Matrix, but he still was Megatron, and Megatron got threw out the ship by Starscream. He's going after Starscream. We go back to Starscream, and I don't know how much time had passed. Starscream is in charge. Not only is he in charge, he's got a cape. He's got shoulder pad. He had to make him a crown. He must have had all this shit stashed for when his day came.
Ready.
Like, yo, I got a box in my room. Go get that shit. I'm going to be out here. Right? So he's in charge. He's got a crown, cape, shoulder pads. Galvatron shows up quickly. And and I don't know, guilty conscience or whatever. He knew it was Megatron immediately. And here's a hint. And once again, we get another demonstration how this is not the show. One shot, Starscream, dust, ash, dead. And that looked painful. Like, it was just, everything was drained out of him. And then he smeared his crown into the ground. He's in charge again. And he's like, is anybody else? Rumble. What did he say his name was again? Like we with him. Right?
Just like that. Galvatron. Yeah. And that was it.
That was it. Starscream was vaporized. They watched that shit like, damn. All right. Okay. And are we... So Galvatron does something that Megatron probably should have done years ago. And that's take out Starscream. And
right away.
He threw me out of fucking shuttle, man. I guess that's it. And what was I about to say? Any thoughts on this scene? Are we sad that Starscream, quote unquote, died? Yeah, Rob, he didn't die. Because Transformers have ghosts. We didn't know at this time they have ghosts. Any thoughts on this scene? Galvatron, his handling of Starscream.
I just thought it was gangster.
Yeah,
just poetic justice there. Yeah,
long overdue.
You thought you knew.
And now he's not even a handgun. He's a whole cannon now.
That too. Okay. So what do we got? The next thing we see, Unicron. He swoops in. He takes out Cliff Jumper and Jazz. Takes out the Moon, and it looks like they are going to get away also, but they are dragged and supposedly destroyed. Bumblebee and Spike call Earth, tell them that this monster planet just wiped out one of the moons and is coming our way. Ultra Magnus is confused. They don't know what to do, and they're listening to the radio, and they listen to Bumblebee and Spike. Tell them the plan. They're gonna destroy the moon in hopes of destroying Unicron. And got some dramatic music, more good music. This whole movie had good music, except for the Weird Al Yankovic for Rob.
Oh yeah.
Even the instrumentals included, and they detonate the moon. And it looks like they took out Unicron. They look in the monitors, not a scratch. And then we get the oh shit line. Now, I did read why they added that. They wanted I thought the movie was PG, but it's PG-13?
No, it's PG.
Oh, wait, it's PG. Okay, it was G without that. And movies needed to be rated have a certain rating to get more screens. So they added that in there, which was a surprise. And Bumblebee and Spike devoured. Megatron. Galvatron is watching and sees that his moons were destroyed, and Unicron flexes on him. We get this red light that apparently is causing him some pain, and he's back in line after that. They go to Earth, and the Autobots are making plans to get to the moon. Decepticons attack. So this scene, it's like an escape. They get on the shuttles, and nothing really memorable in this. The Dinobots, I think, are established as comedy relief for the movie, and even moving forward, that's kind of what they were. We lose a Dinobot. Which Dinobot was that? Was in the one scene, and then he just disappeared. Snarl. He was there, and then he was gone.
Was that the?
Yeah, he was basically he was an animation error because I think he pops up in like 2 scenes, but for the majority, he's not there at all.
Nope. Oh no!
Which dinosaur was that? Was that the?
He's a
Brontosaurus one?
Stegosaurus.
Okay.
Yeah. And he didn't even attack Devastator, so yeah, it was only 4 of them that came out of the ship. All right,
like the little sister in Family Matters.
Yeah. Now, was he one of the first edition Dinobots, or was he the second batch was he in the second batch that Wheeljack made?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. I think he was second batch with the Brontosaurus, I think. Anyway, so we get life. We begin life without any of the G1s, except for they're all G1s, but you know what I mean. We just have Perceptor and a bunch of new Autobots, and they make their way to the shuttles, and they're on their way to get to the other Autobots, even though they got Decepticons following them. Ultra Magnus leadership is on display. Hot Rod and Cup, their ship goes down. Springer tells them, they just bought it. He says, "I can't deal with that."
I love that line. Cup and Hot Rod just bought it. I can't deal with that right now.
Yeah, I cannot deal. Springer's kind of nonchalant too, like, "Oh, they just bought it." Like
He's nonchalant the whole time. I got better things to do tonight than die.
He is. But Ultra Magnus, like, I can't imagine Prime like saying that. I can't deal with that now. So their ship
real weak, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. Incompetent. So Hot Rod and Cup.
To his credit, though, he did admit that, though.
Oh, he did say that. Yeah,
he's like, yo, I'm just a soldier. He's like, I can't take this.
Prime laying there dying. Like, thanks for instilling confidence in everyone else and in my decision. You're like, nobody's gonna follow you with that attitude. But they eventually lose the Decepticons. They trick them into thinking they destroyed the whole ship, and he asked Perceptor. This is where they needed Perceptor, Terrence. Like, where can we go for repairs? And he's running down numbers, and Ultra Magnus is impatient. Like, he's like, I don't want to hear. Like, just give me an answer. And they go to Junk. What's his name's name?
Junkion.
Junkion. So they're there, and we go back to Hot Rod and Cup. So we get more new music, more good music. Hot Rod, he's everything he does is cool in this movie. He's got the buzzsaw in his hand. He cuts the things off. He's driving underwater. He fights the robotic squid. I don't know. He saves Cup. He's doing that. He's doing whatever needs to be done. Looks good doing it, and he saves Cup. And he saves him. And they meet those weren't Sharkticons. I don't know, were they gators or what are we calling those things?
Weren't they Sharkticons?
No, they weren't.
They transformed into gators, but I think the one dude that survived Lithone, he just kind of grouped them in with the Sharkticons.
Okay.
But they transformed into gators, the ones that
We're outside.
The ones that they met.
Okay.
On
and
outside, yeah.
Okay. And they hit him with the universal greeting.
Bomb wheat, grind up, bomb wheat, mini bomb.
Yep.
I probably didn't say that right.
Universal greeting and the bubblegum, right?
Right. We get the Energon doublemint, and it's not enough for them, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't enough for Cup and Hot Rod, and they're captured. And let's see. We go to the Dinobots, and they run into a new character / toy figure that will be pushed on to the public, Wheelie. Let me see here. And let me see. Where are we here? Wheelie appear. Oh, okay. So they didn't meet them yet. We get introduced to the Quintessons, who later were revealed to be the creators, right, of the Transformers. Is that correct? Okay, but they aren't positioned that way on in the movie. They're on this planet, judging people guilty and innocent, but we don't know of what. And even when they are innocent, they're sentenced to death. Now we can go back to the Dinobots meeting Wheelie. They get into a little fight. Tells them where their friends are, and the Dinobots are on the way. So I missed over. Forgot to mention this. After the Decepticons thought that they destroyed the Autobots, Unicron put more pain on Galvatron, and Galvatron goes to speak to Unicron. Unicron tells him you fucked up. Like, you didn't kill them. Like, they're still alive. Tells them that they're on the planet of junk. Go there, destroy the Matrix. So the Decepticons, they find the Autobots quickly, and they, Ultra Magnus's leadership is on display again. Tells them to run away from the only ship that they have, which is destroyed because they left it defenseless. They're running, and one part that was really funny, Daniel, he has got the exosuit that helps him transform now. The Autobots are trying to, yes, he's still not used to it, but RC's
Daniel
gone.
just bought it,
right? Blur's encouraging words of advice. You can do it. You can do it. You can transform. As he peels away,
and transform without me,
right? And he leaves the kid to defend for himself, and he eventually transforms and escapes. Ultra Magnus, him and Perceptor getting like bounced all around the yard, and it's the Decepticons. So he's got to unleash the power of the Matrix for this. He couldn't open it, and it's Prime's fault apparently, because Prime told him that it would light our darkest hour and not his darkest hour. Okay, like, you got to pay attention to what he's saying. So he's killed, and they have the Matrix. Any thoughts on Ultra Magnus and this whole this reign of terror that Galvatron / Megatron is on in this movie? Because this is I don't know how many he's killed so far in the movie, but Ultra Magnus bought it, and he lost the Matrix. Thoughts from you guys?
Hey man, Galvatron was no joke. He wasn't talking. He wasn't trying to throw no little quips. He's like, if you see him, he's the Grim Reaper. He's taking you out of here.
Thought it was stupid how they brought him right back.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was very helpful that he exploded at the joints, and like he just had to screw them back together.
Right.
It was
plug them back in, little wax, little glue.
Yeah,
Mike,
he did kind of fall apart at the joints.
Yeah, he fell apart at the joints. Mike, what you got, man?
With bringing back Ultra Magnus?
Well, just
the
with
whole
the
Junkion scene.
Yeah, the whole Junkion scene. Like, and guys, before you go, Mike, like, just stop me anytime and drop whatever you want to drop in regards to the movie. But go ahead, Mike.
Not much really. Not for that scene. It did. Yeah, that scene was all right. Actually, the best thing about that scene was the music for me. That Dare to Be Stupid was that scene for me.
Okay.
That was it. How they would transform and flip back over bike for bike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was that scene for me. That was really it. And then when the other guys showed up.
Okay. Jay, what you got, buddy? Oh, you already said something. Yeah. Rob, as the newbie, what's your feeling on the movie so far? Like, we're about halfway through it.
Just kind of going on with my original thing, how it's just very snappy. It's going from action sequence to action sequence. This part was kind of a little goofy. I think this was when they were kind of playing a little more towards the kids. I definitely, that scene where they said shit, I had to wait. Let me roll that back a second. Did they really just say that? Oh yeah, they did. And I think there was another one later too, right?
I think was there another
the open, damn it, open.
Yeah, that was it. Okay. That was it.
I knew there was another curse in there somewhere, but yeah. I mean, it was kind of hard to feel sorry for Ultra Magnus because he was in over his head since the jump. But it's kind of wish he would have stayed dead. It would have been more impactful considering what how he threatened the rest of his own team.
I'm stuck in my head. You said this a while ago, Q, and every time I get to that scene, I think you said it earlier. He's it said light our darkest hour, not my darkest hour.
Yeah.
Every time I get to that, I think about you saying that. And you said that years ago. I think about it every time I watch this movie. I think when I get to that scene,
it's one of the most. It was the most selfish thing I've ever seen. In these cartoons.
I never thought about it though until you said it. Until you put it out there, I never thought about it. Damn right, mother. Yeah.
All the shit they've been through. Y'all probably didn't even know Prime had that thing until he opened when he was dying.
Right.
He never once. He's we got to open the Matrix. We losing this fight. We got to open the Matrix.
But I never saw him do it.
Yeah, granted, I'm being facetious here because they created it for the movie, but he just went to it so quick,
right?
So quick. Damn, man. All right, I'm getting mad at Ultra Magnus again. So before Galvatron leaves with the Matrix, he's I'm going to destroy Unicron. He's I'm going to make him work for me. And we get another growl from Unicron because he sees all. We go back to Hot Rod and Cup versus the Sharkticons. Another good scene, more good music, more good animation. Every scene was just really fluid. Hot Rod continues his campaign as the MVP of the movie. They're driving underwater, they're jumping, they're punching Sharkticons in the teeth and making all the plays. Him and Cup they're like the duo here, even though I don't really remember them being together much after this. I may be wrong, but they did a lot together. It seemed like during the movie, and the Dinobots show up and remind people why they the Dinobots. They turn the whole battle. They turn the Sharkticons on the Quintessons, and they meet Wheelie, tells them that they got a ship, and they're on their way off the planet. They found a way to get moving. We go back to Ultra Magnus, and he's pile of, the Autobots decided to come back after leaving them. They did leave him. And he's gone. They're well, what now? Then the Junkions show up, and to Mike's point, this was a good scene. They just wouldn't stay down. Again, everybody's running or driving away. Excuse me, everybody's driving or flying away, but Perceptor is running so fast next to the cars. I thought Blur was the fastest one, but he's running. He's running around with the guys, and it's a good fight scene. Springer and what's the head Junkion's name? Rekgar?
Rekgar, yeah.
Okay. They had a nice little fight there, and Hot Rod, Cup, the Dinobots show up in the fight, and I think this is when we first find out that before the fight ends, Springer is a triple changer. He's a car and a helicopter, which was cool to find out because it seems like the Decepticons always get the cool stuff. So they arrive. They find out the Matrix is gone. And the Junkions is like, oh, we can just snap your friend back together like Lego pieces. And, Ultra Magnus wakes up and is like, oh, you're all okay. They have a dance, of course, Junkions and the Autobots, they have a dance before they go fight Unicron, and then they fly off. The group's back together, they're on the way. So then we cut to Galvatron. He's at Unicron making threats with his big old chain. He went and stopped and got a big old chain for the
Flavor Flav chain.
Right. Big old rope chain with the Matrix out and everything, making demands. And, Unicron tells him, like, you underestimate me. And he transformed. Now, I don't know if back then I expected him to transform, but it's always that transformation scene is really good. And we get another line from Unicron. There was a time I considered sparing
your wretched planet.
Right. And like when he transformed and Galvatron's face, Galvatron's like, holy shit. Like he couldn't open it. Like whenever I watch him try to open the Matrix, it hurts my fingertips because he's sticking it in there, and you hear the metal on metal. He can't open it, and so Unicron is like, he's like, it's over. Like I'm destroying everybody. So he goes up, smacks Cybertron, which is a great scene. You kind of get a scope of his size, and the Decepticons, they attack Unicron, and he's inhaling people. Like he took Galvatron and swallowed him like an acid, and the Autobots show up, and we get a little music dare, and he shoots the Junkion ship, which apparently is indestructible too, from the fire at least, and he shoots the other one, and Hot Rod again makes the play and flies the ship into Unicron's eyeball, doing the first bit of damage to him. Any thoughts on the whole Galvatron versus Unicron, the backstabbing, the transformation? Well, let's go to Rob, since this is his first time. We'll go to him. Like, what did you think?
I thought the transformation scene was really good. It was super epic. I like the way they did it. And they did a good job showing the scale of just how huge Unicron was too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the natural backstabbing of Galvatron, you saw that coming a mile away because he obviously wants all the power. But no, that was a good scene. And yeah, go ahead.
No, go finish.
Oh, I was going to say, and the flying the ship into the eye was a good scene too. Just it kind of let everybody know that he's not invincible, despite how enormous
good point was. Did you expect Unicron to transform?
No. I thought it was going to be him in planet mode, just gobbling everything up the whole time because he seemed pretty, impervious while he was in planet mode. So I don't see why he would have changed. But I get the intimidation factor of switching.
To me, it was just like he was just so offended. He's like, I'm not even going to eat this planet. I'm just going to pulverize it. Like, I'm still full from earlier in the movie. Yeah, I'm stuffed.
He said dismemberment in that scene.
Yeah, he did. Right. That he did.
I've never heard that word after that. Now you witness his dismemberment. I mean, his lines, anything Unicron or Orson Welles said in that movie was classic. Anything he said.
Yeah, the voice acting in this was really good.
Yeah.
Great cast too.
I wonder if Orson Welles realized it would be so iconic.
I don't know. I don't know how they got him to do it.
Like, I just need to check real quick. Like, let me do this.
I was reading. They said he was always willing to work. They asked him and he said okay. I know he died 5 days later after finishing up all his lines.
Right after,
yeah. And I read that his voice was heavily synthesized because he was sick at that time. But the mix of his voice and the enhancements, like it made like that voice is like like it's like him, like you go Vader, you go Unicron, and like he's on that list. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so Terrence, you got anything before we move on?
I'm trying to find the exact quote, but I believe there was a quote where somebody asked him directly about the role, and he says something to the effect of, "I play a giant toy that eats other toys." It was something to that effect. Because he's from old school Hollywood, so this this was a paycheck for him. If you guys ever get a chance, check out this. There's this wine commercial he did where he's fucking toasted. He's done trying to, and they show all these outtakes from this wine commercial he was doing, but he must have fucking drank the whole bottle of wine before he started doing the commercial. And there's just all these outtakes of him trying to get through the filming of this commercial. So yeah, he was in paycheck mode during the late 70s and 80s.
Good stuff. Okay, so where are we at now? So the ship that had Hot Rod and the Hot Rod, RC Springer, Cup, everybody in the Dinobots. But the Dinobots were outside. I thought they were anyway. They jump out the ship when it goes into Unicron's skull, and Hot Rod gets caught on a protrusion from the wall or whatever, but everyone else falls deeper in and is being chased by Unicron's let's just say antibodies, and they're running, and Hot Rod falls farther down into Unicron's gut. And who does he meet? He meets Galvatron, and Galvatron still got the chain. He's telling them we should team up, and the Matrix can't be open. Hot Rod's like, you can't open it, not by a Decepticon, and Unicron intercedes, and he didn't even ask him, destroy him now, or you yourself will be obliterated. Okay, use the big words. Okay, I want you to be clear on what's going to happen here. Okay, you're not going to be punished or in prison. I will obliterate you. I'm doing all this while I'm fighting everybody outside. I see everything, man. Stop talking. Take him out. So, what we got? We go outside. The Junkion ship is out there making annoying Unicron, the Dinobots, and they have a couple, scenes there. But the real fight's inside. With Hot Rod. Hot Rod and Galvatron have a really good fight. They're transforming, shooting, fighting. But Galvatron's kind of strong. He caught him in car mode, flipped him over. He got him in a bear hug and forced him to transform. And this always makes me laugh. He's choking the robot in space. So it's not even it hurts. You hear him gasping for air, and it's looking back at this. I can't remember how I felt watching this, but you're nervous now. Galvatron is killing everybody, and Hot Rod got close. Now he's getting choked out. All right, so we go to even before we got to that point, going back to RC, Cup, and the rest of the guys, they're still running from the antibodies, but Daniel gets separated from the group, and we find the Autobots we thought were destroyed. We find Cliffjumper, Jazz, Bumblebee, Spike and some other robots who they didn't bother to, tell us what happened to them, and he rescues them, so they're safe. Rob, how did you feel when seeing that those robots made it? You thought it was a cop out or what? What's on your mind here?
I mean, considering just the amount of bodies dropping in this movie, I thought they were gone for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I didn't think it was that much of a cop out. It was a good kind of like rally for the end of the movie. We actually do have a chance because we got some survivors here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see them again.
Okay. Anything else from you guys with that before we get back to Galvatron and Hot Rod?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
same as Rob. It's good to finally start seeing some survivors.
Okay. And it was one of them was good old Bumblebee, who was like always got FaceTime in the show, but we may have got like 5 minutes total from him, and it was good to see that he made it for sure. And just to back up a little bit, after that scene, then we go to Galvatron and Hot Rod. They get into the fight and cut away to the Junkions, and then we cut back.
Go ahead.
Before
we get into this, now that you mentioned Bumblebee, when you were a kid, did anybody realize Bumblebee was number 2 in command? I had no idea.
That ain't true.
Look on the back of his toy box. Where it shows like their stats. He's number 2. He was the number 2. They did number 2. He specialized in infiltration, though. He wasn't like a fighter.
I thought it was like Ironhide or.
No, it was Bumblebee was number 2. If you look
at his stats, but I can believe it.
His rank and stuff on, how they had all those stats and stuff on the back of the toy box.
Yeah.
Bumblebee was number 2.
Interesting.
He was just always like he was the recon guy. He was the spy.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they kind of say that in the newer movies, like the live action ones, I should say.
Yeah.
But I did not get that impression at all during the first 2 seasons. Okay. The more you know, right?
All right. Knowing is half the battle. We might have to do one for G.I. Joe after this. Yeah, that G.I. Joe movie was no joke, too.
Yeah, that was my shit, too. And this movie affected that. We'll get to that after we get to the end of the movie. So we cut back to Galvatron. He's choking the shit out of Hot Rod. And he's telling him, like, this is easy. Like, I killed Prime, Ultra Magnus, like, y'all die, like, really quick. And, he's like, I'm not even enjoying myself right now. And Hot Rod, as I don't know what to compare this to. I've been making sports analogies. Like the bottom of the 9th, he hits a grand slam. The shit is right there in front of him. He grabs the Matrix. It lights up, and we get the music. And like, whenever the music kicks in on this movie, like something's about that. It's there and the touch, but the touch last time we heard the touch was when Prime came and ran down the Decepticon. So we get his transformation. We get little Optimus Prime telling him to arise, which always gives me chills when I hear it. And Galvatron knows immediately. He's like, like shit. And he takes a couple shots at Hot Rod, no effect, and then he finally knocks it out of his hands. And then we get Hot Rod, this is the end of the road, Galvatron. And Galvatron does steal him like twice before he picks him up and throws him not only out of Unicron, but out of the solar system, apparently. And he picks the Matrix back up. Music's in full throws, and he opens it. He opens it, and Unicron's feeling it. Like he starts to blow apart at the seams. His defenses are failing. He saves Springer, who was about to get his head cut off. It looked like, and Unicron pulls his foot off for some reason. I don't know if it was blowing off. He's like, get this shit off me.
Right before that, he like grabs his nipples too. He's like, the smoke coming out of his nipples. He's like,
Yeah, that's weird. That whole thing was weird. It was,
So like he's like it's not like he didn't know. Like he's been trying to destroy this thing the whole movie. Like he knew it was trouble, and like we see why. Like he's losing it. And the Autobots who were inside, they meet up and they turn around and they see Hot Rod emerge as their new leader, new truck mode, and tells them to roll out. And they jump right out his eyeball, his other eyeball.
they all drive out into space.
Right.
Yeah, right. They just floated off into space. So like, wow.
Right. They just flew all the way back to Cybertron. And let me ask y'all, what does Unicron say when he is like he's about to buy it? In the words of Springer, like Unicron just bought it, and he's saying something.
My destiny.
Okay. So he is destroyed, but his head, I think we find out later, kind of like ejects from the body because guess what, Rob? He's not dead.
Nope.
He's the new moon of Cybertron moving forward, and the Autobots win. You know, like Hot Rod declares the Cybertronian Wars over. And, you know, we get till all are one. What's the word? Credo, whatever you want to call it. And as the movie ends, you know, Unicron's head is in orbit of Cybertron. And, you know, it's over. You know, this was like the height of G1. Like the seasons afterward was plagued with bad animation and Hot Rod depressed and just
Ghost
weird
of Optimus
stuff
coming back and
Ghost of was he a ghost? Oh, the
it was
the zombie,
zombie Optimus. Yeah,
I think that was an even more disturbing death when he died. And
it was he was being blown apart. His face got blown off. But Starscream came back, and he was working for Unicron. Unicron wanted Cybertron to be his new body. I don't know how that was going to work. Just a head on top of like a big planet. Like I don't know if he was just going to make it transform, but like this was like the height of G1 for me. And even as far as Transformer movies, people will say this is still the best one, and like it still holds up. Like the movie has aged. Like you can say has not aged or aged like fine wine. But what's the legacy for this movie, guys? We're gonna go around. We're gonna start with whoever wants to start.
I go with it. It was the legacy of the movie.
Yeah.
People our age, I think, is pretty good. Like I said, it held up. It's held up. For the Bayformers generation, not so much, but for us, it's still a great movie to watch. I tried to watch it with the Bayformer generation at work. Mm-hmm. They would look at me like I was watching something black and white. They couldn't take it. It was physically hurting them to watch this movie. And I'm like, y'all suck. And this movie is great. I told them that this movie is freaking great. This movie's old, but all right, whatever. Get out. I think it's a generational thing. For us, it's still going to be great. Mm-hmm. But them bastards, the shit ain't no good. So.
Rob, you're the newbie. We should have started with you, but let's hear what you got. I can't believe this is your first time seeing this.
Yeah, you know, I've always meant to watch it. It's just one of those things I never got around to because my friend Robin, he's really big into this. He was watching this and Macross and a bunch of the other kind of like robot transformation animes at the time. But yeah, no, me, I never got into it until recently, until you guys kind of pushed it. But coming as from somebody who never watched like the television series either, it was kind of hard to follow without knowing the characters, but I don't think you really needed to, honestly. You could tell who was the good guy, who was the bad guy. You could feel like the deaths of the good characters when they were, you know, just trying to defend their planet or just trying to get away from Megatron. I like the movie. I still think it could benefit from maybe having a Foley redo from some of the sound effects because they are fucking terrible.
Chomp.
But beyond that, the voice work is excellent. The animation is really great, especially for its time. I think it definitely still holds up, and people should still watch it.
Jay, Terrence, whoever wants to go.
Well, I think the legacy of this movie is it spoiled us for all other Transformers.
That's true.
Like, this movie is specifically why I hate the Bay Transformers. Because it's like, this movie is kind of trippy, and it's like the story is kind of wild. It's fast paced, but you still kind of can tell what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's a nice little what would it be, like the hero's journey? It still has that going on for it. Mm-hmm. The Bay Transformers is just a bunch of metal moving around and explosions and special effects. There's like zero substance.
Yeah, that was.
And you could tell, like in the.
That was one thing I was going to mention that you reminded me is that there's like very little human activity in this movie, and that's what's great. This is all Transformers,
right?
Yeah,
that's what we want. We don't want to see like the humans. That's stupid.
No, like even that last one that came out, that Beast, whatever that one. I don't care about that guy's brother. I don't care.
They could die in the first scene.
I don't care. I don't care. The last human I cared about was what's my man's name? Shia LaBeouf. But
Shia LaBeouf.
But then they had his parents. Like it was too much of his mom in one of those movies. Like I don't care. I don't care. I need to find out the fate of Cybertron. I don't give a shit about these humans.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Apparently, it's big in China though. Like they love it. But I don't know if I guess they didn't grow up with Transformers either. So this, if that's your introduction, you might like it. But I think the legacy is ultimately that it ruined me for all other Transformers. Because nothing's really going to compare. Like it hit us with the emotional hits. Optimus crying, like Optimus dying, is like had me swinging in the air like Ricky died. Like Ricky got shot with a shotgun, had me swinging in the air. Like Optimus, no.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Terrence, what you got now?
It just never gets old for me. My opinion was never going to change. I've loved it since I was a little kid, and I'll love it till they got me in a nursing home. If you put me on a deserted island and you tell me I can bring 10 movies with me, it's going to be one of the 10. And I can't speak for other people. If people tell me if they should watch this, I'm like, yeah, sure. Why the hell not? But I completely understand why it wouldn't be a movie for other people. I mean, I grew up on this, and this is always going to be my Transformers. Like, I love these characters. There's 65 episodes of Transformers that come before this, and then there's there's season 3 and 4 that come after. So I have an understanding of these characters. Like, it's not deep or anything. Like it's not like they were like rating Emmy winning stuff, but I had a love of these characters going into it that allowed me to just like come into it knowing the whole setup. So there's no confusion. There's never any confusion for me going into it. It was just, hey, I already know this world. It's like, it was comfort food for me just coming into this world and can see it and what they had to present to me. And the animation is just beautiful. The music, I can understand somebody, especially from another generation, watching this for the first time and it just not clicking with them for music reasons, aesthetic reasons, or whatever. But everything just clicks in my brain. This is comfort food for me. It works on every level. Today, even though it's the millionth time I watched this, I was tearing up, and not at the moments you would think, like not when Optimus dies. I was just the moment the Optimus is coming in on the shuttle right before he says Dinobots destroyed Devastator. I just had like these tears welling up, and I'm like, I'm sitting there catching myself in my brain. I'm like, why you got tears in your eyes, you fucking moron? Stop doing this. Like, and I started smiling. I'm like, why you have tears in your eyes? What are you doing? But I was like, it was like I was 4 or 5 years old again. I just couldn't stop myself having this goofy smile on my face. It's like the way I get sometimes when I get transported back in time to, before we had bills and responsibilities, and all you had to worry about was what's on TV right now, what's my favorite cereal, and I just got transported back in time for that few minutes, and then it was over again, and it was back to whatever else was going on around me. But for just those few minutes, this movie did that to me. A movie I've seen, I can't even tell you how many dozens of times. It has that effect on me. So this will always be in my top 10, no matter what. And, I can't recommend it enough to anybody who wants to take a chance on something and just see what this time capsule is like. Because for me, it's like a time capsule. It is of its time. There's never going to be anything else like it. I'm going to go see this Transformers 1 movie when it comes out just to give it a shot. The trailers look okay, and I think my son might enjoy it. But for me, this is always going to be the top of the mountain. This is going to be the peak of the mountain of Transformers for me.
And I 100% agree. This is like the peak for me. This movie has moments like I can watch over and over again. Like Prime, like when he I'm just gonna say when he blitzes the Decepticons, like that's like one. Like that's cinema for me. Like the music for this movie, it went with like every scene. Like when I hear, like I don't even need to be sitting in front of watching the movie. If I hear the song, I can see the scenes in my head. And this is a movie that I could like watch from beginning to end and then start it right over, and I'll watch it again. But it just had moments like I get chills when Prime hits the blitz, and Unicron when Unicron like speaks in this movie, like it's nothing but lines. It's nothing but like how can I work this into today's conversation, at work or whatever. Like he's got great lines, great villain who's still around now. He was just in a movie last year. So this movie can do no wrong in my eyes. Like it's just, this is what it was, like the 80s or peak Transformer entertainment. It take a lot, and it's taken over 20, 25 years, 30 years and it's still the best Transformer movie to date for me. I do have one question for all of you guys, because these songs have been part of your life for so long. Not Rob, you're still new, but you can answer too. What was the better song, Dare or You Got the Touch?
Touch, by a mile for me.
By a mile.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
If I need to get hype, I might throw that on.
Okay.
If I need to perform,
I would say Dare's the better song. I would just say You Got the Touch is more iconic though.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dare's the better song.
Yeah.
Which one did Dirk Diggler sing in?
You Got the Touch.
You Got the Touch.
Yeah. You Got the Touch.
I mean, I saw somebody in the comments of some post. They're singing. I guess they're singing Dirk Diggler's song. And like, oh, the crowd ate his ass up. It was like, you dumb ass.
Anybody doesn't respect the original. They deserve to get that ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer the question, I'm going to go with Dare as well. I think I mean, not a fan of that particular genre of music, but I would say Dare is better. I would listen to that one more than I would the other one.
I am I'm a Dare guy too, but I have to listen to them in tandem. If I listen to one, I'm listening to the other one like right after. Like if I listen to Touch, I listen to Dare. If I listen to Dare, I listen to Touch. Just a little trivia: the Touch was not even originally made for this movie. Terrence, you probably already know which one. It was made, huh?
Rocky IV.
Oh, okay. You don't know? No, not Rocky. It is a Stallone movie.
Cobra.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. So it says the movie's most iconic song is Stan Bush's "The Touch," which you might want to sit down. Was originally created by Bush and co-writer Lenny for Sylvester Stallone's Cobra in 1986.
Seems out of place in that movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when he has him up on the meat hook, he's gonna be like, "You got the
touch." What else? One more thing I found: Unicron's original name was going to be the Ingester. Wow. He would have been a mysterious being in control of Unicron's planet form. The filmmakers combined the two into a single character, with the planet still transforming into a human-like figure. This one, I think we kind of knew. The movie takes place 20 years after the events of season 2. I think they say that in the movie. Now this is something about Terrence, Miles, Jay. I don't know if I've never realized this, but this is what they are saying. Whenever Megatron would transform into a gun mode in the first 2 seasons of the animated series, his first shot would always miss the target because reasons. In the movie, when Starscream uses his leader to execute Brawn, this marks the first time the Decepticons' leader's first shot hit the target. I would have to go back and look. What else we got here? Oh, here's one more. We might review this movie. Early drafts of the script. Featured even more deaths. The biggest on-screen RIP that still rocks kids' souls. Optimus Prime, of course. The Autobot leader was killed battling his nemesis Megatron. That sparked a backlash among the fans. One so loud it influenced changes to Hasbro's other big animated movie being made, G.I. Joe the Movie. The Joe's first big screen outing featured the death of the leader, Duke.
Mm-hmm.
But Hasbro forced the filmmakers to change Duke's fate instead having him enter a coma after getting a snake spear to the heart. Now, if you watch that scene close enough, you see that he dies. You know, like they just when they finish fighting, they're like, "Oh, Duke's gonna make it," and they're like, "Oh, hey, yay!"
No, never did Duke again.
Yeah, like they couldn't even show him because like there was no more animation. He was dead. He took a big ass cobra to the heart and it knocked him out. So the other ones were kind of silly. I didn't bother to mention them, but there was. Now I do want to ask, like Jay may have seen this, but if you guys, anyone else has, you can talk about it. IDW published its own adaptation of the film in 2006. This includes extra scenes such as a battle between the missing combiners, I think it's Superion and Omega Supreme at the Ark. And yeah, I forgot who they were fighting at the Ark. But it kind of explained where they were, and why, they couldn't call them. They, especially when Devastator showed up, there was nobody to call because they were fighting. I do not know who they were fighting. But yeah, there was a book. Now I have to find it.
There's a good a documentary on this movie, and I can't remember where I think I saw it on some streaming service. But it tells you all about the history and how it was made, and how it became so wild. Like they basically gave the creators like carte blanche just to do whatever they wanted. They were like, just do whatever. Like we just want to sell toys, and that's why it came out the way it came out, because they just went balls to the wall and just did whatever they wanted. No oversight.
Yeah, and they Rob, if you didn't realize or didn't, like, to Jay's point, like this movie was made to sell more toys. So like they wiped out all of our heroes to make room for the new ones, and they did not think that the death of Prime would be a big deal.
Yeah,
and they eventually brought him back. That one was a little more dramatic, and apparently Optimus Prime always dies at some point. But this was our first taste of it. His resurrection was a little like, wait, who brought him back? The Quintessons?
Yeah. And the what was that? That 2-parter at the end of season 3 with the
red
heat
dust.
plague? Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of funny. Yeah. And he had to get the Matrix back from
Hot Rod just gives it up. He don't even fight for it. He's just like, all right, here you go.
Hot Rod was like, let's talk about Hot Rod a little bit. Season 3, just moving past, he just became like, he was so cool in the movie, and he just became, first of all, like he became hated. Like after the newness of the movie, like we got a couple of people on the page who, as soon as anyone posts anything Hot Rod, you get an angry face on it. Like people don't even like to look at him. But he just was. He had no confidence. In later seasons, he had a statue of Optimus Prime put in his like courtyard or whatever. He would talk to it about how he's not a good leader and he wishes he was here. Like we all wish Prime was here, dude. But you're the leader now. I don't think he had many one-on-one fights with Galvatron. It just wasn't cool anymore. And he was better off as the car. As soon as he became a truck, he just couldn't hold it together.
A Winnebago with flames. Whatever the hell that was supposed to be. That was
that's a requirement for leadership. Got to be a truck. All right, so it seems like we all enjoyed ourselves. Do you guys got anything else you want to add to this fun episode? I hope you. Go ahead, Terrence.
I never noticed this before. Well, I noticed he wasn't with the group afterwards, but I never really took stock of it before. But after the battle in Autobot City, you don't see Blaster again. Like you see him after the battle in Autobot City. Like you see he's with them. Like right before Galvatron attacks, he survived the battle, but then he never boards the ships. He just went deuces. Like I'm not rolling with y'all. I'm staying back on Earth. I got Earth shit to do.
You're absolutely right, because he received the call from the moon base, right?
Yeah, and I never really took stock of it before because I know the rest of the movie he wasn't in it, but I didn't think about, for some reason I didn't think about it until today. I'm like, this motherfucker stayed back on Earth. He survived the battle, and he fell back.
So
I never thought about it till today. All these years, I'm like, wait a minute. He was prominent in the beginning of the movie, and then he survived, and he just was like, nah, I'm out. Can't do this no more. I'm stressed out.
You want to know what happened? You want to know what they said? Listen, you can't go. We need Perceptor. Okay, like he's more valuable. But like, yeah, he probably had
radio
tracks or something.
Like radio or. Do we need the radio or do we need the? I don't know.
Let's take the let's take the microscope in the battle against the monsters planet, in case we can't find him. That's a good point. He's wherever Sludge went. Mike, you got anything over there, sir?
Not really, no. Not at all. No. I pretty much said everything you say. I loved it. It is what it is. I was going to call my cousin to see what part of Philly I was in when I watched it.
Okay.
That's like I said, I saw it in Philly for the first time. So, but That's nothing about the movie itself. That's just I wanted to know.
So you really could have took all of us to the movies. As like,
right?
I ain't had no money. We could went together. We could have went together.
Rob, you got anything? Any last thoughts?
Probably blasphemous thoughts, but I would like to potentially see the whole movie reanimated. Like I know the movie itself, I understand it's a product of its time. It's very well animated, but what if they were to use a modern animation company, not 3D animation, but good old hand drawn art, and use the original voice lines, get a decent team to actually do sound effects this time, and keep the music, and just kind of don't go overboard like George Lucas did with his '90s issues of his Star Wars films, but give it a good, clean, fresh coating of paint. You can probably clean up some of the audio and re-release it. I think that would be pretty cool.
So you want you want Disney to take care of this?
No, they wouldn't do it.
Well, Disney could do a live action version.
Yeah, exactly what they would do.
That's kind of my dream. I always say if I had like Bill Gates, Elon Musk money, I would do stupid shit like that. I would I would just go to studios and I'd be like, yo, I will pay for you. I'll pay you guys to do this. Shit like this. I would go, hey, I want you to do a special edition of Transformers the movie. I want to add in all the second season characters that they couldn't do. Do some new battle scenes. We can place them where they should have been in the original. This, that, and the other. I would be a dream come true for every geek out there if I had that kind of money.
So you want a director's cut?
Shit.
You want a direct? Because there were scenes that were removed. They had like storyboards out there on the internet because Prime's fight was a little bit longer before he got to Megatron, and there was a scene during his fight. So there is some stuff that's on the cutting room floor. But you want a Terrence director's cut? They can add that.
Back. Okay, putting it all back and just the characters because they started animating the movie before they were finished with the second season. So there was just no way to ever put in the characters like the combiners and other characters they were creating later on in the second season. So they were already deep into like the story was already done and they were already animating before they had even conceived of some of those newer characters. So yeah, I would just start doing director's cuts or just remaking all types of shit. I'd be like, yo, just add it to my tab. Got you. Whatever you need, I'll cut the check. I'd be a dream come true for the geek community if I had that kind of money.
So would you be like, this is one of the ones like similar thing, like if you went back to like Star Trek Next Generation and kept everything the same except for the space scenes and actually modernized the space ships and everything instead of them just being still images with lasers shooting out, but actually make them fully 3D animated models like they are in the movies. That's something I would do if I had the money to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay, you got anything before we get out of here?
No, I don't think I got anything extra.
All right. Yeah. You guys had fun tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It was a good one. I like talking about that kind of stuff.
Well, maybe we'll do another movie. Maybe not saying next episode. Maybe do G.I. Joe movie or something else. We'll talk about it.
Maybe like The Last Dragon.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, we getting out here. It's after midnight. Got some old folk on the line here.
Right.
So we're gonna say goodnight, and we're also gonna say to all our one, and get out of here. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.
Peace.
All are one.
Peace.
Yep.